The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Hey, these uniforms are lame, man.
This is the new cut. Y'all be back. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And check out every episode of the show at basicallysports.tumblr.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg, Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Lightning have a new alternate jersey.
Is one they should have never brought out of the closet.
Oh my God!
It's just black.
It's black, like a gray gradient coming up from the sleeve cuffs.
I don't even know if that's gradient. I think that's that. What do they call that?
It's like a snowy pattern. Almost,
yeah,
right?
there's a name for it. I can't think of it though. It's called. There's an actual name for that pattern of color, or like when it looks like that. And for the life of me, I can't think of what it is.
The tonal shoulder patch.
Oh Jesus!
And I love the hanger effect is just the team nickname.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's something going on with the rest of the uniform that makes it some sort of complete package. Like,
there's nothing that can save this. Come on.
Well, no, I know, but from a jersey standpoint alone, as a fan, why the hell would you bother buying that? It's essentially just a black long sleeve shirt with the logo on the front. But unless that there's some sort of concept they're trying to go for with the rest of the uniform, like the pants and the gloves and the whole thing, that it meshes together and you're like, yeah, okay, I guess I see what you're trying to do. It still sucks, but I see what you're trying to do. This doesn't look like anything.
No, why does this team always disappoint when it comes to new uniforms? Like they can't figure it out.
I don't know. That thing's horrible, though. Just horrible.
Geez. And yeah, I don't know why they didn't just release these Kings and Leafs throwbacks, because, yeah, they're the same as the last time we had alternates, so I don't know. But this Lightning one, remember the fake one they came out with, a few years back with, the palm trees? That would have been better.
No, seriously, that would have been quirky and interesting, and
at least, right?
It'd be one of those things where it's like people either hate it or it'll be like a cult hit where people will love it because it's so ridiculous, like the Wild Wing jerseys, right?
Yeah.
People either hate those because they're outlandish, or people say, you know what though, they're stupid, but I love them. Mm-hmm. So it's just like,
yeah, the palm tree jerseys would have had that going for it, yeah.
But these are nothing.
These are
black and slight hints of gray.
I know what you're saying when you say maybe the whole uniform they'll try something, but I
guarantee it'll be something about storm clouds and nonsense like that.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You know that's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
Thunder clouds.
Storm clouds rolling in. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh. No, it's not called charcoal. I'm still trying to find the term for that color. There's an actual name for it, and I can't find it.
Anthracite?
No. It's a lot simpler than that. No, it's a very simple term. I can't think of it to save my life.
Graphite? Graphite?
No, it's not anything like that. It's like a
wolf gray.
But anyway, it's
wolf gray, which, by the way, someone produced the color swatches, and wolf gray, surprise, surprise, is the same as every other gray used by every other NFL team that uses gray. Of course. So, good job.
Yeah. No, I know. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, these are bad. It's like a bad fashion jersey. I don't even know. They're just not good. Not good at all. Especially when your colors are so vibrant. They've got that blue and white, and you do this. I mean, I know that there's not a lot you can do with blue and white, but still, this is come on. And I swear to God, if the cloud thing, which is probably 100% correct, that will be right up there with some of the dumbest shit we've ever seen. While we're, you want to really quick get the Digital 6 out of the way while we're here?
Oh, yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Thank fucking God, these are just for video games.
I know.
They're not going to be an actual.
No.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy to hear that.
They're for NHL 19 only. Adidas has done this before.
Oh, well, I'm relieved.
With soccer in FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember that ever being a thing, and I pay enough attention to soccer and FIFA, but I don't remember those being a thing. And so, like, it's one of those things. Like, well, why are you making such a big deal about it?
Well,
like,
that's what I thought.
Like,
I thought they were going to
content.
I thought they were going to be actual jerseys. That's why they were making a big deal. It's a video game. Who gives a fuck? I mean, honestly.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Why does any like? That's why when they came out, when we first saw them, and we thought they were actual jerseys, it was like, oh no, what is this garbage? And then when it comes out that it's like, oh no, these are just for NHL 19, I was kind of like, oh.
Well, yeah, because we even discussed that calling something digital because it seemed futuristic was something that you did 30 years ago. But in the context that they're using it, well, now it makes perfect sense. They're just for the game, so they're the Digital 6. I get it now. But, well, I you know what? I don't even want to talk about them. If they're not real, I don't care. I was worried they were real.
No. And really, some of the whole thing is kind of, once you pull back and see the designs, they're like, the Red Wings one is boring and something that is kind of what they already did. The Montreal one is okay, but again, kind of standard. The Leafs and Rangers are the 90s alternates they should have had.
Okay, I want to say something about this Leafs because
it's lazy.
It's so fucking lazy. Like, you go into the concept section, the CCSLC forums, and you look for anyone who tries to like mix things up for the Maple Leafs. It's almost always something like this. Like, we're gonna do basically a blue version of the Summit Series uniform.
I think the Rangers jersey looks like it was designed by a yacht captain.
I've heard the Rangers one.
Yeah,
I've heard the Rangers one. I've heard people describe the Rangers one like one of those Tommy Hilfiger shirts from the 90s.
Right, that too. But yeah, like a big sash going like
it's literally like you look at the both of those and you look at things like the Mighty Ducks Wild jersey, and you say, oh yeah, no that would be if they put that on the ice in 1997.
Yeah,
it would. People would still think they suck. But you'd understand it a little more. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
You'd understand it, and like they'd generally be regarded as the worst uniforms those teams ever wore. But Lights Out would insist they're great.
This is what the Rangers jersey reminds me of. Was one of these. You guys are probably too young to remember these. The Adidas, the Olympic sweatshirts they did back in the 80s.
Yeah.
I actually had that one that you're seeing the picture of, the black one with Stockholm on the front and Helsinki on the back.
Yeah. Well, again, if those had come out in 97 or the 80s, it's like that would be acceptable for the aesthetics of the time in so many other places. So you say they're stupid, but I get why you make them.
Right.
And then the Blackhawks one is just it's one of those things where like there's some brands where the logo colors don't need to go anywhere other than the logo.
Yeah.
And that's what that is to me.
Like it's like when people try to insist that yellow or gold is an Arizona Cardinals color. It's like, no, it's not. It's on the logo.
It's on the beak. It's barely on the logo, for fuck's sake.
And for the Blackhawks, like the Blackhawks colors are red, white, and black. Like the green and the yellow and all that stuff. That's logo only stuff.
Yeah. And the Bruins one, supposedly, according to and how dare we criticize these, Mike?
Yes, how dare? How dare us?
According to the great Andrew Harrington, who, hey, they're not getting any pink slips in the mail, so they're still going to be allowed to make jerseys.
God damn it.
Doesn't mean they're good at it.
It's supposed to, because the Bruins have done their thing so many ways already, that this is supposed to be some sort of Revolutionary War reference, with the 13 stars in the circle around the B and the 13 black.
Yes, I remember.
Remember when the Bruins won the Cup in 1777? That was a great season for them.
I was going to say, I can remember from reading the history books about, the American Revolution, the Continental Army proudly fighting under that black gold and white flag with the bumblebee stripes and the.
They were fighting for things that were uniquely American at the time, like hockey.
Yeah. So, really, of them all, like the Red Wings and Habs are bland. The Rangers and Maple Leafs are
typical.
They're whatever. Yeah, they're typical. The Blackhawks one is kind of bad. This is the only one that's really like terrible.
Yeah.
Like you can make excuses for the other ones. This one's just fake or not. That one's just bad.
I am just thrilled. I really thought they were going to make actual versions of these. So
the best part is they're not even like going to be just in the regular version quite yet. They're in a game mode called Hockey Ultimate Team, which is basically fantasy drafting and a card game essentially that's across all the EA platforms. And you have to win it in a draw, and it's not just going to be plopped into the game. It's
so I can't get the
DLC.
I can't get NHL 19 and just play in those jerseys. And I have to work my way towards
not
that.
Not yet. I think I was under the assumption that they would show up in online play at some point. That if you were doing like an online versus match, could play against somebody else and they'd be wearing those.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, and I log on. And I always choose the Ducks, and I either use the Mighty Ducks or the current alternate. And then I log on and I open up the game, and I'm playing against somebody that's wearing that Bruins alternate. God knows I'm hitting them every single time I can.
I watched a bit of the unveil video.
Right, where they talk to the designers and all that.
Yeah, and we wanted to do something that no one else has ever been done. It's like, go to the CCSLC concept section. People have been making this exact Leafs jersey in the concept section for as long as I've been around.
I think that's what I put in my post on these things, was just like, it seems like an application of the comment of the concept section. It doesn't seem to be particularly innovative, or like the Bruins one is just really out there and bad. And then the other ones are like, these have been made 100 times in the concept forums by somebody.
All right. Well,
it's a waste of everyone's time, and our agitation, was unnecessary. But we didn't know what they were at the time, and now that we know, it's stupid.
I'm relieved. I will say it's very stupid, but I am relieved.
Buffalo Bills fans have started a GoFundMe so Nathan Peterman can retire.
I said it to you guys yesterday or Sunday when we were watching football. You can't tell me there isn't another quarterback out there that team could sign. I don't care who it is. He can't possibly be worse. There's got to be some quarterback on the scrap heap out there somewhere, right?
I mean, EJ Manuel, when he's fucking dunking on you on social media, like EJ Manuel, he says, this is a honest, and he's not wrong when he says, I usually never open up about my situation in Buffalo, but the fact that this guy has had multiple games or 4+ interceptions and I still don't have a job in this league, unreal. Say what you want about me, but I never ever did that. Forget a learning curve. I didn't get the luxury of being able to use that as an excuse. I wonder why.
That's the most baffling thing.
Wonder why.
Well, yeah, I wonder why. I can give you a good idea why.
Yeah, me too.
But that's the most baffling thing about it. And E.J. Manuel was a first-round pick, if I remember right, wasn't he?
I believe he was.
Yeah.
If not first, at least second, for sure.
Right.
They bailed on that dude like he owed him money or something. And then I find out yesterday, I forget which one of you guys said that both Sean McDermott and Natty P are part of the God Squad.
Yeah, that's something that I discovered, because the whole Nathan Peterman thing has been fascinating for me. I just want to understand how it keeps happening, because this isn't real, but it's I was looking for it, and apparently, Sean McDermott and Nathan Peterman are both very religious, and apparently they have something of a bond over that.
Sure, that's great. And that's fine, and I'm not going to begrudge anybody for being religious, for finding companionship, and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to strict fucking job performance,
yes,
it's not like he's had some bad luck. He has been, in my memory, the worst quarterback I've ever seen that's gotten at least 3 games under his belt.
Look, I've been watching football for a very, very long time, and I racked my brain. I even went on the internet to see if I could remember a guy that was this bad, and I came up with one that I'd never heard of, and I put it in the there was one guy that I think might have been as bad as Nathan Peterman. He played for the Falcons from 74 to 77. He didn't start that whole time. His name was Kim McQuilkin. He had 29 interceptions and 267 attempts. And that's the only thing I could come up with that was even close.
Peterman, I believe, crossed the 11 interception mark before he had completed 100 passes.
I do think that the God thing has to play a role in it. And I hate to say that. I'm with you, Zach. I mean, I would never begrudge anybody their beliefs. That's not what I do. But you've got to be able to separate it from, okay, we both have a strong belief in God. They might have the both same religion, same everything. But look, it's not about you two. It's about everybody on that team.
I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense because, like, at this point, continuously throwing Peterman out there is threatening McDermott's own job security.
That's the thing is, like, there are plenty of people I know that are just good people, great dudes, great people, great men and women across anywhere they've gone. But you can be a super nice person and still be bad at your job.
Uh-huh.
And that's what this is. Like, you know, I feel bad. I feel worse for somebody because they're nice. Like, if you have to let them go or sit them down or challenge them in some way, like this is. But, like, at the end of the day, you're still professionals. And I'm sure Nathan Peterman is, unless he's really got some God blinders on, he's going to be the first one to know that he's not performing to any sort of acceptable level. It's just not. The Bills got outscored by the fucking Buffalo Sabres over the weekend.
not only that
in goals, but like in total points scored by players when you add up assists and goals, they had 10. And the Bills had 9 total points on Sunday.
Well, if you go back, since that, I heard this on the BS and Cousin Sal podcast yesterday. If you go back, since the Bills beat the Vikings 27-6,
yep.
I think the most points they've scored since then was 15 in one game. That's it.
We've got a situation where the Chicago Bears didn't even start Khalil Mack.
They didn't need to. Why waste him?
They gave him the day off. They're like, you know what, we got this.
Like, yeah, here you go. In week 3, the Bills went into Minnesota and inexplicably beat the Vikings 27-6. Since then, the Bills have scored 0 points in a 22-0 loss at Green Bay. They beat your irrational confidence at the time Titans, Greg.
Yeah,
13-12.
Oh, my irrational confidence is back this week.
Oh, Jesus, no. So they scored 13 in back-to-back games against the Titans and Texans, a win and a loss. 5 against the Colts, 6 against New England, 9 against Chicago. They've been in single digits the last 3 games.
All I can say about it is that there has to be someone out there that can be better than this. And you can't tell me that Derek Anderson is the only quarterback out there besides Nathan Peterman that they can sign to play for that football team.
And beyond that, like in that Chicago game specifically, Nathan Peterman threw 49 times.
Oh my God.
Who's telling Nathan Peterman to throw 49 times?
And he's obviously not being effective, but like, well, actually, I think his stat line didn't end up being that terrible in terms of overall numbers. I'm gonna find the thing here, but at a certain point, run the ball.
Yeah,
like I don't understand passing it 49 times with this guy. Everyone knows he's not good. Just manage the game properly. Wow. So here's Peterman's stat line. He completed 31 of 49 passes.
Okay.
For 189 yards.
49 passes, he got $189.
And 3 interceptions, yeah.
And 3 interceptions, yeah. That okay, look. Percentage-wise,
he was the team's leading rusher. All right, that needs to be remembered.
On the other side of the ball, Mitch Trubisky for the Bears, he was 12 of 20 for 135.
Yeah.
And the Bears crushed the Buffalo 41-9.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about it. I just think there has to be, A.J. Manuel, bring him back. He can't be any worse. And he even said it himself. I can't be, look, whether you got a fair shake or not, I didn't follow the Bills closely enough to know. But if they looked at something, and I'm trying to figure out, I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, is Peterman a great practice quarterback or something? What do they see in him that we're missing?
Well, the situation that they're in right now is there's the situation they're in right now just isn't great in general, with Josh Allen hurt.
No.
And Nathan Peterman sucking. So they bring up Derek Anderson, and now he's hurt.
What happened to A.J. McCarron? I thought he was there too. They traded him.
They traded him for the Raiders.
Yeah, before the season. But that's where this all starts. Like, sure, you're going to draft Josh Allen, and you think that he's going to be the future of your franchise. Fine. You need a long-term solution. But you had a quarterback that was acceptable, like at least, middle of the road in Tyrod Taylor.
Right.
And if you know that you're gonna have him battle it out, or you're gonna sit Josh Allen, because again, Nathan Peterman started the season. Josh Allen wasn't even supposed to play until Peterman sucked so hard in his first game that they had to pull him. If you know that that's your plan, why are you even getting rid of Tyrod Taylor?
Well, that's the big question here, because look where Tyrod Taylor ended up, on the Browns to be the guy to keep the seat warm until Baker Mayfield was ready. Why is he doing that in Buffalo to this day?
He should be, and it's just, we spent a lot of time on here talking about some really bad teams, unfortunately, between the Browns.
Well,
and the Bills.
they're far more interesting. What are we going to say? Yeah. The Patriots won again.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You're right. And we have plenty to talk about the Browns still, coming up. But
Jesus.
I don't get what the Bills are trying to do. I don't know what they were trying to do in the preseason, getting rid of Tyrod Taylor, and I really don't understand what they're doing now, because it's come to a head. Like, we joke about it, but I'm surprised that the rest of the team hasn't mutinied.
Well, apparently,
and because we joked about guys retiring at halftime again, but like, if you're somebody if you're the Buffalo Bills defense, let's say, like, how in the world can you go out there with any sort of confidence, or just know that you're going to be put to the wolves every single game for too many plays because Nathan Peterman can't orchestrate a drive?
I thought I'd heard
you're
something.
You're going to be down 14-0 because Nathan Peterman keeps scoring interceptions.
I thought I'd heard something on Sunday that the Bills were basically at that point as a team where they were ready to.
Well, yes, they are, which is why Sean McDermott actually made a statement late yesterday evening. I just found this courtesy of CBSSports.com. Sean McDermott said Peterman will only get another start if both Allen and Anderson are unavailable.
Okay.
So
I would take that a step further and say Peterman will only get another start if there's literally no one else in the world left that can play the quarterback position. And I'm talking from high school all the way up.
Do they not have somebody on the practice squad?
Matt Barkley, for fuck's sake. He can't be worse.
Sure,
really?
Exactly. There are a litany of these guys that were cut in the offseason.
Didn't Barkley have a couple of decent games? Didn't Barkley have a couple of decent games for the Bears last year or the year before? I mean, I'm not saying he's a long-term solution, don't get me wrong, but isn't he at least a better solution at this point than Nathan Peterman?
Again, you have to have somebody. There are plenty of okay quarterbacks that are just hanging out. And you don't even need him. You don't need him for a full year. You don't need him going into next year.
No.
You really don't even need him to finish out the season. You just need them long enough to get Josh Allen healthy.
I don't know why.
I don't think you should even play him the rest of the year.
I think after the second time Peterman went out there and imploded, you say, okay, Barkley, we're promoting you from the practice squad up to the regular roster. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
There's gotta be somebody out there that's worth.
I'm telling you guys,
fucking Kaepernick.
I'm telling you guys, I hate to say this, and I really hope I'm wrong, but I'm telling you that religious thing between him and McDermott is playing a bigger part in this than it ever should. I guarantee you that's why. That's the only explanation that makes any sense whatsoever.
It's got to be Colin Kaepernick. All you've got to do as Colin Kaepernick, if you wanted to sue the NFL for collusion, you just show the Nathan Peterman career highlight reel in court and be like, this motherfucker got a job and I don't.
You know what, guys? I think we can sue the NFL and probably win that case. Like, we should be in the NFL before this guy. He will win exactly as many games quarterbacking that team this year as we will. I don't get it. I just don't understand it. And it's just boggles the mind.
He might be the worst quarterback of all time, at least of the modern era.
Because to kind of transition towards the games, you look at some of the things that happen in this league, like just start on Thursday, where Nick Mullins, the third string guy for the 49ers, comes in. And he's this dude no one has heard of.
I didn't even know he existed. I swear to God.
I guess he played at Iowa, right? Does that sound right?
Sure, why not?
Either way, he's a nobody off the scrap heap that should never be in an NFL game because of his stature in the lineup. But there he goes and lights up the Raiders, not what's left of the Raiders, but in a primetime game on a short week.
It's still an NFL defense. It's
an NFL defense in primetime on a short week, and he scores 34 friggin' points. Nathan Peterman goes out here and can't tie his own damn shoelaces.
I'm going to tell you guys that when I saw that Nick Mullen was starting for the 49ers, we do that weekly picks thread on the boards. Yeah. I had picked San Francisco to win this game. And I saw that. I said, there's no way. I said, even though they're the Raiders, even though they're terrible, there's no way this guy that no one's ever heard of is going to be able to beat them. And I felt like an idiot. That dude looked like Joe Montana out there. Now, I think that's an indictment of the Raiders every bit as much as it is that Nick Mullen's going to be some sort of great quarterback. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just understand there's got to be another Nick Mullen out there somewhere. I mean, Matt Barkley, for fuck's sake, put him in the lineup. It can't be any worse. And if you're a Bills fan at this point, how frustrated are you? You know?
I don't even know what you say to not even just to Bills fans, but to the sports fans in the city of Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like, I am sorry. That is... Between them and the Sabres, it's one of the sorriest sports towns, probably the sorriest sports town in all of America.
And that's a shame because they have some of the best fans in all the sports.
They're loyal because that's what they've got. They've got the Bills, they've got the Sabres, and that's their claim to fame. That's their community pride. That's what they put out there is, this is what we are. We are Buffalo. And
other than the idiots that do the tailgating stuff in the parking lot, but other than that, I mean, as a whole, they're a very good group of fans. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's just a shame to see them go through this after all the success they had from the late 80s through, the mid 90s, and now look at
it. Well, God, you even put that together. It's like you combine. Not only are you the team that's lost 4 Super Bowls in a row, you're also. You go from that to being just abject failures.
Yeah.
They come off that run where they went to the 4 Super Bowls, and, I mean, they've been good once, twice.
They made the playoffs maybe twice since then.
It's the Doug Flutie years. Come on.
Doug Flutie, the Drew Bledsoe year, right? Like,
but they weren't this terrible, though. I mean, if you remember for the past 3 or 4 years, they were that team, them and the Dolphins, were the team that every week were like, are they in it or are they not? That's what because they were like, they'd win, they'd lose, they'd win, they'd lose. So even though they weren't going to win a Super Bowl, they weren't just God fucking awful terrible like they are now. I mean, they made the playoffs last year. I mean, they backed in, obviously, but, they went 9-7.
Still, you're right. They made the playoffs last year.
I don't get it. I hate to say it, but I think that religious thing has got a way bigger role in this than it should, and that's a problem. Yeah. That is a problem. If that coach can't separate what's best for his team between, what he thinks is God's plan, then somebody's got to address that.
I just want to read off some Nathan Peterman tweets. Well, not tweets from him, but tweets about him. This was going on during the Bills-Bears game. Nathan Peterman has an 11% interception rate on 100 passes. Only one player of 100-plus passes has an interception rate higher than that since the 1940s, and that guy played during the 70s. What Peterman is doing is unbelievable. the ghosts of every great deceased quarterback could parade onto the field in Cleveland and start playing while simultaneously divulging the secrets of the afterlife, and there is zero chance I would turn away from this Nathan Peterman game. The passes that Nathan Peterman throws have become self-aware and are now turning themselves over.
That's great.
It's one of the worst abject failures I've ever seen.
This is the best one. This is just honest. This is great. Nathan Peterman is a legend who will be remembered forever.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's like that Jim Rome clip you sent me. That at first I thought it was hysterical. But,
yeah, it's like he went absolute legend.
Yeah, he said if the Hall of Fame
we'll never forget Nathan Peterman.
If the Hall of Fame is based on your impact on the game, this guy is a Hall of Famer already. Yeah, I don't know. Let's move on to I don't know.
Well, we're talking about bad quarterbacks, and I did mention the Thursday game. There's one bit of information that came out this week that's hilarious. Did you see the thing about Jamarcus Russell in the Raiders?
No.
David Deal, who was an offensive lineman in the league, played for the Raiders for a bit. He I don't know why this even came up, but he put out there that Jamarcus Russell just didn't watch game film, and the coaches basically knew that he wasn't watching anything. And to test this, to test their theory that he wasn't watching film, they sent him home with blank game tapes. There was nothing on them, completely blank, empty tapes. And he would come into the practice facility the next day like, hey, what'd you study last night? And he would say, blitz packages. And they knew that was made up because they sent him home with blank videotapes. And he wasn't watching them.
Oh, God.
Just to know that he, wasn't trying to improve on his craft. The 700-pound Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised by that, but man, that's funny. That is too funny.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
He could probably still start for the. I guess he'd back up for the Raiders now. Would you rather have Nathan Peterman or Jamarcus Russell? I don't really know.
No.
Did Jamarcus Russell ever have a string of games this bad?
He just was never good.
He was just never good. He was never, but nothing. Yeah. I've never seen anything like this. This is This is a completely different level of ineptitude. And
Jamarcus Russell at least had the college pedigree behind him.
Right.
People had some sort of expectation. Nathan Peterman came in with no expectations, and he's somehow done worse.
Yeah, you come in with no expectations and somehow fall short. That's impressive in itself. I get where Jim Rome's coming from now. You come in with zero expectations and fall well short of them. That's impressive. That is hard to do.
Just impossible.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to different. Somebody else.
Again, we're going to stick with the bad team route. And the Browns valiantly play against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs do what they have to do. As the Browns enter a new era, Greg.
Mm-hmm.
The Hugh Jackson experiment long gone now. Todd Haley also let go. What do you make of your new era Browns?
First off, I don't think anybody thought they were going to win yesterday. I mean, that Chiefs team, that offense is so good. Yeah. But I thought they played with a little more, enthusiasm, and the offense seemed to be a lot less predictable, which was good. But as I said after he got fired, if the Browns fans were thinking this was the magical elixir, it's not. They took a lot of steps back after that promising start, so we got to work to get back to where we were even at the Jets game at this point. But overall, I saw improved play, much more disciplined play, I believe, out of the team. But there's a lot of work to do yet. I just didn't realize, we were talking about nice guys earlier, and I thought Hugh Jackson was a nice guy that was just a bad coach. It turns out he's a sociopath. The dude just... the stuff that he said after he got fired, I'm like, really? You're actually going to say that when it's on record, that what you're saying now is completely untrue. Some people were calling him like he was like calling it revisionist history. No, it would have to be 80% less bullshit just to be revisionist history.
Wasn't he saying stuff like he just wasn't given enough time to develop Baker Mayfield, and he felt he was on the close to a turnaround. He was going to really.
Oh, not only that, but he wanted Carson Wentz. He also wanted Deshaun Watson, and he wanted, I forget the third one, Jared Goff. But the horrible front office wouldn't let him have any of those guys.
Yeah, well, I believe that too, though.
Well, except that when you go back and you find out that Hugh Jackson said about Carson Wentz, I didn't think he was worth the number 2 pick in the draft. So, but he wanted him and they wouldn't take him, but he wasn't. So I don't get how that works out. But yeah, the guy's crazy. I mean, when CBS Sports does not a headline, but like I forget what they call it. It's like after the headline, like a little line below it.
Yeah, like a subhead.
And it says the former Browns coach has lost his mind, and that's coming from CBS Sports. You go, okay, this is really something. But they're going to be okay. It's going to take a little while. I liked what I saw, but with this brutal schedule coming up, don't expect to see much. But I did like what I saw.
Browns are back to being the Browns.
Yep, right. They're back to just being normal and terrible again now. Not much to say.
All right. Well, game of the weekend, unfortunately, involved my team again.
Yeah.
That Rams-Saints game was something in many different ways. Obviously, the offense there for both teams. But the difference in this game is the Rams' defense wasn't up to snuff. Whether it was early in the game when the Saints were just marching up and down the field and the Rams didn't really seem to do anything about it, or then when the Rams do charge all the way back and they say, okay, we're finally level again, then Marcus Peters screws up and allows that 75-yard touchdown, and he's done that more than enough times over the last few weeks that I'm kind of fed up with him. The Rams are really good, and this was a game between the two best teams in the NFC, no doubt. But the Rams were just a little bit the lesser because the defense that they paid a lot of damn money for has not stepped up in an overall sense over the last few weeks. They made good plays at the end of games to close out some of these tight games, but in general, the run defense has been suspect, and the secondary has been kind of shredded by any quarterback that's worth a damn.
Well, I thought maybe part of their problem was, because I know you've been concerned about their defense all season, and I thought maybe part of the problem was that the offense, they score a lot, they score fast, and maybe that was it. Or just, in a blowout, you just tend not to play as hard and stuff. But what I saw on Sunday, I think there's some legitimate reason for concern there, and I don't get it. They've got I don't think that Dante Fowler.
Aaron Donald is playing like the best defensive player of all time this season, but that doesn't seem to permeate to the rest of the defense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Dante Fowler didn't play this week, right?
He did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he actually got a sack.
But I don't get it. They've got the talent, but something's not right. I don't know.
Between a front line of Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh, Michael Brockers, and now Dante Fowler that they can throw in there, there's no reason that teams should run on them like they do. There's no reason that they shouldn't be getting to the quarterback more. And yeah, Aaron Donald, I think he's leading the league in sacks. Mm-hmm. He's leading the league in tackles for loss. He's leading the league in every defensive category that a down lineman can do. But again, for some reason, that singular impressive performance isn't going to the rest of the team. Ndamukong Suh maybe has 1 or 2 sacks, maybe 3. The linebacking core has been a little bit less, and they did, not replace some big guys like Alec Ogletree last year, but they've had some nice performances there. But the thing that beyond them not stepping up, the secondary is not good right now, and specifically Marcus Peters. And I think what his problem is I forget what game it was, but whatever it was before the Minnesota game, he and Aqib Talib were both injured. I think it was against the Chargers, maybe. They both got injured, and Talib, had to get some long-term care. And I think it was a calf or an ankle for Marcus Peters, and he was supposed to be out like 2 to 3 weeks. And then come that Thursday for the Vikings game, he was in the lineup, and he was playing the whole game. And ever since then, he's been kind of bad. He was good for the first 3 games, and then after that injury I just don't think he's let that fully heal, and he's been burnt.
Yeah, he's been getting lit up pretty good. I mean, I can't remember the name, the Saints receiver that lit him up.
Michael Thomas.
He torched him.
Yeah, the guy who pulled the Joe Horn move.
Yeah.
Which was in a 10-point game in the fourth quarter. Kind of stupid.
Very stupid, because he really could have put his team in a bad spot there. But I honestly, though, I don't know if this game is played in Los Angeles, if it's not, doesn't go the other direction. I mean, those are two really, really good teams that we saw out there. Maybe. I think what I learned from that is that we knew the Saints were good, but I think they're really, really good. Like, they're up there with the Rams and who else is like the Chiefs, as like the best teams in the league. They're right there with them. And I think they do have the edge on defense. The Rams, honestly, if they don't get home field advantage throughout the playoffs, I could see some problems, because especially right now, it doesn't look like they'll have to go to a cold weather site, because, the Packers aren't going to get in. And
even if they had to play the Vikings play in a dome. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think they're pretty good when it comes to that. I guess they're going to be ahead of the Bears. They're going to be ahead of any cold weather team.
But, it's, you knew they weren't going to go undefeated. But.
Yeah. And maybe this is a good thing for them in the long run. It probably is.
And the Saints are, very balanced. I mean, they've got Drew Brees and they've got Kamara, so they can kill you from both directions. They've got good receivers. They're a good football team. So I don't know how much stock you put into this loss. I was going to say, though, I was watching the NFL Network before we started recording. They do their weekly power rankings, and they dropped the Rams to number 4.
I see a couple places do that, and I don't get that.
I don't buy that either. I mean, that's okay. Well, we'll say okay. We'll move the Saints to number 1 if that's, or whoever.
Yeah, because they lost. The Rams were the best.
Yeah,
the Saints beat them.
But okay,
sure.
Name me the two teams in between 1 and 4 that are better than the Rams.
Yeah, the only other team that's in that conversation is the Chiefs, and the Rams Chiefs will decide that soon enough. But when it comes to these top teams, like. The Chiefs have the same issues that the Rams do.
I think they got worse issues than the Rams do.
Like the Saints, the Rams, and the Chiefs are all offensive juggernauts with kind of suspect defenses.
But isn't that the state of the league these days, though? I mean, I've been bitching about it for years now, but we've reached the point where defense just doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it does to an extent. Like, the Bears are winning. The Bears are being spurred on by their defense. Like, God, Mitch Trubisky doesn't have to do a whole lot in some of these games.
Yeah, but that only gets you so far. I mean, when you get into the playoffs, that's not going to carry you anywhere. The why I think the Chiefs are in worse shape than the Rams from a defensive standpoint, when the Browns were moving the ball yesterday, they did it with such ease, it was ridiculous. And I mean, if the Cleveland Browns, and now granted, the problem with the Browns is they aren't consistent enough to do that for a whole game, but they were spurts, so they were shredding that Kansas City defense. Mm-hmm. And you go, that's a bad sign. But they're just a team like the Rams that they're going to score so many points that you don't really look at it as a big concern. But as the playoffs get closer and things start tightening up, then you maybe start wanting to worry. But to get back to my original point, I don't see two teams better than the Rams after the Saints. I'm not going to put the Chiefs up there. I don't think I'm going to say it again. I don't think the Patriots are that good this year. I think they're probably one of the better teams in the AFC, but well, they beat the Chiefs, though, didn't they?
Yeah, at home.
At home.
Close game. The Chiefs should have won, but Andy Reid timed it.
You guys, I don't know if you guys watched the Sunday night game or not, but do you see the Patriots knocking off the Rams or the Saints? I don't know how they would do it.
No, I think because at the very least, the other thing that you learn about the Rams in this game, like, they scored 35 points and lost somehow.
Yeah.
Like, the offense is not going to drop off for the Rams, and they'll be in a shootout with anybody. And again, when it comes to when the games are tight and they're ahead, that's when I expect the defensive line to kind of clamp down and get those sacks and force a late turnover or something, which they did, against the Packers and against the Seahawks and against the Broncos and all those tight games. So the offense will be there. Can you keep up with, like, if you're the Patriots? Can you get in a shootout with the Rams? Can you get in a shootout with the Saints?
No.
Can you get in a shootout with the Chiefs? They did get in a shootout with the Chiefs, but the intangibles were there for the Chiefs, unfortunately, in Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And again, I think if the Rams and Saints do play again, and again, Sean McVay is the best halftime adjustment coach in the league, and you saw that in that game and how they came back. You let the Rams play the Saints a second time, and you give Sean McVay a second chance to go up against you. Not to say that Sean Payton is a bad coach or that he can't make adjustments too, but the Rams will be better prepared the next time that they have to face the Saints if they do.
I just hope that's our NFC Championship game because that was a great game between two good teams.
Yeah, totally.
As far as I'll tell you, but a team that's getting lost in this whole shuffle, and if some people talk about them, most people aren't, are the Chargers. They're 7-2 now? What are they, 6-2?
Battle of LA victors week 9.
There's not a week that the Chargers win the Battle of LA. Just doesn't actually happen.
Well, but anyway,
congratulations on the Chargers for winning a game. Another win where they missed a field goal and an extra point.
Well, they finally cut the kicker.
He was the first. Was he the first or the second kicker in NFL history to miss a field goal or an extra point in 3 consecutive games?
I think the first.
Yeah. So congratulations, Mike. You have a new kicker for the jersey.
Indeed, the kicker jersey.
We need to put that thing together, man. But
got to find a Nate Kading jersey and just go from there.
I really thought that with the Seahawks playing the way they were, the Chargers, and Seattle's a tough place to play, even when the Seahawks aren't that good. And the poor Chargers on the road. It was such a
typical Chargers football game.
Yeah, but they won, which is it had all the ingredients of being typical Chargers, but they still pulled it off, and that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go back to what I've been saying all season, though. I think if you put this team in San Diego where they belong, where they still have a fan base and everything, it's a whole different story. But I don't think you can't take them. Yeah, they got a great record. They're one of the best teams in the AFC, but I just, that home field and stuff, I don't know how you do it. But anyway, I think
the thing with the Chargers is that they're gonna end up being a wild card at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and maybe that's not bad that they have to go on the road and not play games at StubHub Center.
Well, that was the point I was going to get to. Of the two teams, of the Chiefs and the Chargers, who do you think is better suited to beat the New England Patriots? And you got to go to Foxborough to do it. I mean, at this point, probably.
I still say the Chiefs, but that's the problem. The thing I was going to say next is that the Chargers are going to beat the road. Maybe that's not a problem, but I think it would be a problem if they have to go to New England.
See, I don't know. I have more faith in the Chargers defense, especially if Bosa comes back and gets healthy. And I don't know, but then I think if the Chargers had a good head coach, boy, they'd be a whole lot better. What's the guy's name that coaches them?
Anthony Lynn.
Yeah. I'm not so crazy about him either.
Look. The Chargers, I think, are quietly one of the best teams in the AFC.
That's what I'm saying. I agree. I just worry about the playoffs because it's, I don't know. I think it's a different atmosphere when you're on the road, even if you do manage to get a home game in the playoffs, as it is a regular season game, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's amplified or whatever. But I think that of the two, because the Chiefs' defense is really bad. There's no other way to put it. It's just not good. When you think the Rams have problems on defense, that's nothing compared to Kansas City. I think the Chargers have, I don't know if they're necessarily better, but they're more balanced. They're not like all offense with no defense, whereas the Chiefs are, that offense is a sight to behold, but the defense is not good. So I think that, you talk about a game in January in New England, I think, especially with Melvin Gordon and that whole thing, I think the Chargers are better equipped because they have the better defense and can play a different style of game necessary to beat New England in New England than I think the Kansas City Chiefs could pull off at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but I don't think the Patriots are the solid gold pick they usually are this year. They're still going to be there, but if there's a year to take them, this is it.
I mean, your Packers couldn't really do much against the Patriots.
Well, no, but my Packers suck this year. I'm having the worst football season I can remember in a long time. The Browns.
Now, come on.
No, the Browns were like one of the worst teases ever this year, and they're right back to where they are. My Packers just aren't good. My Ohio State Buckeyes, I just don't care about. And my Toledo Rockets are I think a game over 500. It's just not a good year for me for football. I don't have a lot to look forward to. So I need a bandwagon team. I don't, I guess I'll have to either go with one of the LA teams. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't want to go with the Chiefs. There's something about the Chiefs I don't like anymore. I can't think of what it is, but
I'll tell you what.
It's Andy Reid.
Two things. It's the defense and it's Andy Reid. The end of the day, Andy Reid, man, you get him into the playoffs. They'll probably finish something like 13-3. But once you get into the playoffs, and Andy Reid's got a clock manage in a tight game,
another reason,
and that's borne out. By the way, we've seen the show before. I mean, they lost to the Titans last year, who then went on to get obliterated by the Patriots. So we knew that the Titans weren't sneaky good. They just took advantage of an Andy Reid lapse.
I don't think the Titans
the same thing happened that one year that the Colts made that incredible comeback, and then they got dump trucked by New England the next week.
Yeah.
I don't think the Titans have been sneaky good since '99. Whenever it was they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But my point though is that I just think when you take the Andy Reid thing into consideration and all that, but then again, you get that Anthony Lynn who's not exactly Sean McVay either. I don't know. You know what? I try to talk myself into it. No, Patriots can't be beat. Never mind. Let's move along.
Well, a team that's kind of under the radar, sneaky good. The Panthers are 6-2.
I know.
They beat the Buccaneers 42-28.
It's magic. Tried it again yesterday, but couldn't pull it off.
I mean,
4 TDs.
4 TDs, though. Only 1 interception. That's better than anything Jameis has done.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think of the Panthers?
I don't know what to make of the Panthers.
Yeah, at 6-2, we don't know what to make of them. I
think they're. I mean, I'll take a stand. I think they're good. I think they're 6-2. You don't get to be 6-2 by accident,
right?
I think they've got a talented team. I don't know. It sucks that they have to share a division with the Saints, but they're only a game behind the Saints, so. And that those NFC South teams all play each other close, so it's entirely possible that Carolina could tie or even leapfrog New Orleans. Again, they're only a game behind.
Right.
So it's not like New Orleans is running away with this division.
No, but when I say I don't know what to make of them, because I mean they're 6-2. You can't get around that. That's just that's their record, and that's a good record, But I don't know. They just don't strike me as being as good as their record is. But I guess they are.
Here's the team they've beaten: Dallas. They lost to Atlanta. They beat Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was a pretty good team.
They had a bye. They beat the Giants. Lost to the Redskins.
Right.
Came back late against Philadelphia.
That was a couple of weeks ago with that 21 unanswered points. I think that's more on Philly than it is on the Panthers, but okay.
Yeah, because I'm looking at these games. That Cowboys opener, I remember us saying that's one of the most uninspired football games we ever saw.
Yep.
They lost to the Falcons, who were 4-4. They beat Cincinnati, not bad. They barely outlasted the Giants in a 3-point or a 2-point game.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Redskins, who they're also. 5-3 now? Don't know what to make of them.
5-4 now.
Then they had to make that fourth quarter comeback against the Eagles. Then they've had 2 solid wins back to back now over the Ravens and Buccaneers.
Right, but but looking at that schedule, and it's not like it's a horribly easy schedule, but you look at it and you go, okay, where's their big win?
No, where we'll learn about the Panthers is Thursday night when they're at Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to judge Thursdays. But the thing that's going to work in the Panthers' favor, they don't play New Orleans till week 15.
Right.
And they play them twice in the final 3 weeks.
Didn't that happen a couple years ago, too, with these two, that they ended up having a...
But the point is that if they can hold steady or just about even with New Orleans, all they really need to do is win one of those games. And
how do they not play the Saints until week 15? That seems such a...
NFL schedules are stupid.
Well, I'm looking at what they got the Steelers coming up on Thursday. Then it's at Detroit, which anything could happen there. God knows. Seattle. So if you're basing it on their record, they should win those 2. At Tampa again. The Browns, week 14. Yeah. Then they have the Saints, Falcons, Saints. Well, that last 3-week stretch is going to make or break them, basically.
They're going to make the wild card.
Yeah, I think so too. But that's the thing.
Based on that schedule, like they're going to be a wild card.
But are they? Sure. I agree, Mark. They're a good team, but are they like Saints, Rams, Patriots, Chiefs level good? That's where I don't know what to make of them. I don't think they are.
No, I think they're on that next tier. Like when you look at the teams in this league, you got the Rams, the Saints, the Pats, Chiefs. And then there's a drop to your Steelers, your Panthers, your Bears, Vikings. I think then another drop after that.
If you went back and listened to our NFL preview, when we talked about the Panthers, I remember us saying pretty much what we're saying right now. We didn't know what to make of them, but I swear to God, one of us said I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they're 6-2 after week 8. I'm almost positive one of us said that. I don't remember which one, but I'm almost positive, and here they are. Because it was the schedule and just the way things worked out. I don't know if they're good or not. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. That's obvious. And we really don't get a real, true, honest-to-God test other than the Steelers until the last 3 weeks of the season. And by then, another thing to think about, let's say the Saints reel off every single win from here between now and then, and let's say the Panthers drop another one along the way. We might get to those last 3 weeks where it's not going to really much matter. And so you're still not going to get a real read on them because they might not be playing their starters. Who knows,
Yeah. The Falcons clawed their way back to 4-4.
Yeah.
Good for them. They're not getting anywhere.
No. But 4-4, they're lingering in that wild card discussion.
And they got the Browns this week, so you probably chalk up another win there.
Yeah.
Come on, have faith.
And they did beat the first place Washington Redskins.
I guess.
They made our indigenous peoples look bad, Mike. They really did. and God forbid, but Julio Jones actually scored a touchdown. I think it's the first time since 2006 that he's been in the end zone.
Washington, Washington lost, but Philly had a bye, and Dallas
lost, and the Giants were on a bye.
Giants were on a bye, so it doesn't matter. The NFC East is still garbage, and Washington is still leading because, of course, they are.
I want the Redskins to win that division so badly.
Me too.
I really do. Me too.
I'm pulling for them.
Yep.
I'm pulling for them. Come on. But the Cowboys, yeesh. What did? I understand that. That was a Sunday night game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was a Monday night. I don't know. I understand that ESPN dicked around the NFL for the TV deals, but come on, NFL, you can't just punish them you can't just punish Monday Night Football like this.
Well, you know what it is, partially, too, now is because the Sunday night game has become such a big deal that Monday night's kind of the ugly stepsister now. So they're not going to get the
Sunday Night Football is regularly, must-see if you're a football fan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Sunday night's the marquee, and now they've tried to pump up the Thursday games, as much as they could.
ESPN made a huge mistake. I mean, it's been 14 years now, maybe even longer, since they took the NFL for granted the way they did, and the NFL is still shoving it straight up their asses to this day.
It's hey, ESPN, fuck you, Tennessee, Dallas.
Yep. I mean, it's still just nonstop. It's man, oh man, that Roger Goodell holds a grudge, boy. Let me tell you.
Oh God, we are so close, just flat out, Oakland, Jacksonville, Monday Night Football, and it's just
yeah. Let's bounce through some of these. The Steelers beat the Ravens. They're still in first place.
Did that at Baltimore, which is a big win for them, I think.
Yeah. James Conner doing a real good job for them. Le'Veon Bell nowhere in sight.
Le'Veon Bell, I think, has made a huge mistake pulling what. I mean, I get why he did it, but I think he's made a really.
I support his decision to do it. He just, I think he didn't anticipate James Conner.
Yeah.
What happened.
Pittsburgh isn't going to want him back.
No.
Why would they?
Pittsburgh's not going to want him back, and who's going to trade for him?
Right.
Yeah. Because even if they do bring him back, they can actually franchise him for lower money than he was going to get
I mean, I talked about this back at the first and second week of the season. The Steelers don't play this shit. They just don't do it. You don't want to play for us? Fine. Go sit down. We'll just plug somebody else in, and that'll be that. I promise you. Why do I even care if it's so much stupid shit at this point? Who cares if I turn out to be wrong? I don't think he'll ever play another game in a Steelers uniform. I think he's done. That's it. He won't be back.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
Vikings beat up the Lions. They're still hanging around.
Okay, well, speaking of, where are we at on the Vikings? Another team I'm not sure.
Fine. They're fine. I think, honestly, there are teams that are lingering in the wild card discussion in the NFC, but I think I got to think that, either Minnesota or Chicago is going to win the North and the other one's going to be a wild card. And then Carolina will probably be the other one. Because the Seahawks are 4-4. The Packers are 3-4-1. They're ostensibly still there. The Eagles are 4-4.
The Packers.
By the way, you're welcome. Because of the Chargers for knocking the Seahawks down another peg.
Yeah, thank you for that. By the way,
with what was it like? Did we just see Russell Wilson make a mistake? No, Russell Wilson is a perfect being. It was someone else's fault.
Right, it was someone else's fault. I really thought on that last play. I don't know if you guys watched it. I thought he should have tried to run. I thought he had a clear shot at the end zone.
Yeah, I thought he should have tried to pull it off too.
Yeah.
But and really, the pass was a fine pass. It just got ever so deflected at the last second.
Yeah,
that it threw it off the rotation, so the guy didn't.
Well, yeah, so it was somebody else's fault. It was the guys that blocked it, his fault, and then the guy that couldn't catch it was his fault. Russell threw the perfect pass because that's what Russell does.
Of course,
fucking asshole. Now they're 4-4 now.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's getting a little tougher for them. I mean, they were kind of back in it, but I don't think so much.
Yeah, you have a handful of teams there at 4-4, 5-4, but I think the playoff picture in the NFC looks pretty clear, unless the bottom falls out on the Bears. I think everybody's pretty much where they should be when the playoffs end up starting.
I think you asked for the Viking, where we are in the Vikings. I think the Vikings are just below that LA New Orleans tier. I wouldn't like.
They're a second tier.
They're a second tier. I wouldn't like them against either the Rams or the Saints, but they could probably hold their own against almost anyone else.
I'm going to put them down, Rams and the Saints.
I'm going to put them down like a half a step below the Steelers and the Panthers, the better teams of the second tier. I think they're right in between being almost as good as the Steelers or the Panthers, but not quite bad enough to be down there with the Bears and those guys either. They're right in the middle of that. I don't put them on the second tier. I think you got with Kirk Cousins what you expected to get, which is wildly inconsistent.
I mean, look, Kirk Cousins, if he could just figure his shit out.
Oh, yeah.
But, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he finally got paid after being dicked around by Washington for all those years.
Yeah, well, Kirk Cousins, that was Zach and I had that discussion, I think, about every week.
I was listening to the football show every week, and it was always the Redskins would win a game, and you're like, I like Kirk Cousins. Yeah, me too. They're gonna do it this year. And then they'd lose. They'd lose like 35-10 or something.
Yeah, that's our boy. That's our boy.
But he seems to be doing better on the Vikings than, Washington, which perhaps is saying something that maybe Dan Snyder's team is just suckitude.
You know what? Speaking of teams that are here and there and everywhere else, I'll tell you a team I think would be really good if they had a quarterback is the Broncos. I think if they had a quarterback, I don't know if they'd be like top tier good, but I think that they'd be dangerous.
I mean, yeah, but this has been the story since Manning retired, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh no, they keep making the wrong choice. Case Keenum was never the decision to make there.
Yeah.
He was a Nick Foles type, where yes, he had an incredible year, but look at his history. Look at the greater portion of his body of work.
Yeah.
You know what Case Keenum is, and this is it.
Yeah.
It's fine, but if you can't get over the Texans, then this is where you are. And the Texans, hey, winners of 6 in a row.
Look at my Texans go. Look at that.
The Texans have won 6.
His lung didn't collapse.
Yeah,
on the drive up to the mountain. So.
It was because he didn't fly up, right? It was a nice steady incline as they drove up on the bus.
I don't know if he took the bus this time. I actually don't know.
Well, it wouldn't have been a bad ride. Nice, very scenic ride, I would think, right?
But assuming he took the bus, that's a nice, steady incline, not too much at once. Yeah. I'm sure that helped.
Beautiful scenery all around. Sure, relaxing.
Beautiful scenery.
The drive from Houston to Denver, I don't think is as scenic as you're making it out to be.
Well, maybe not. Yeah, there's probably a lot of. Now that I think about it, there's like Oklahoma and cornfields in Nebraska. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, once you get to the mountains, it's probably nice.
Yeah, but by then you're already there.
But the mountains don't start till after Denver, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dude, when you get, yes, you can see the mountains in Denver, and it is the Rocky Mountain City, no doubt about it. But if you go due east out of Denver, it is Kansas.
Really?
Eastern Colorado, you get 5 miles outside of Denver.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you might as well be Kansas.
See, that's funny because people think of Ohio as being like that, but you go say 100 miles south of where I live, and it's like being in West Virginia. Not only culturally, but scenically as well.
Yeah.
I've driven through it.
Yeah.
Eastern Colorado is flat and awful.
I did not know that. I thought Colorado was nothing but mountains.
No. Only the western part.
How about that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
western and southern parts. So the other things here to touch on, I guess, there's nothing really. I guess we talked about the Texans. Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions on Sunday.
Yeah.
He's
a rookie.
I'm not ready to sell my stock on him quite yet, but
no, me either.
He's having a rough go.
Yeah. Well,
and it doesn't help that it's look. It could be worse. They could be the Giants. So
that's very true. And then we kind of touched on. You said your irrational confidence is back for the Titans, Greg.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Because Dallas is a garbage football team this year.
But I did find it hysterical that the Titans pretty much beat their asses last night. That was unexpected. I thought the Cowboys at home. The Titans with the I was going to say Jerry Mariota.
The Titans have looked like crap the last 2 weeks.
Well, they didn't look that great last night. Well, they kind of did, but you look at them, you go, how are they 4-4? I mean, even with the win last night, you're still looking at them going, how are they 4-4? And the Jags, by the way, I don't get it.
Cowboys Eagles is your Sunday night game next week.
Oh,
so
God.
Prepare to not watch that.
Why do can't we flex that?
Well, they would have 2 weeks ago, but it's a Cowboy-Eagle game. They know they're going to get ratings, so they're not going to flex it.
Oh, I suppose.
You don't have to watch Sunday or Monday night, guys. Cowboys-Eagles is Sunday night. Your Monday nighter, oh boy. Giants at 49ers.
Oh, God.
Why? Okay, no. At this point, the NFL is just fucking with ESPN.
Yeah, now they're just doing it on purpose. They're just being mean now.
It is a weird week when the Thursday night game is your best primetime option with Panthers Steelers.
Oh, God.
The Thursday night package hasn't been bad this year, really.
We had a little run of bad ones, but this is a good one for sure.
Yeah, but there's been. Usually it's like every Thursday night game sucks, but this year it seems to be about half and half. Like some of them have been pretty good. Wasn't there? You had the Rams Vikings on there, right? Wasn't Patriots Chiefs on a Thursday night?
No, that was Sunday.
Oh, was it Sunday? I can't keep track.
But then you had things like Broncos, Cardinals.
Yeah. The Cardinals, they're still in the league?
Well, they were off this week, so you didn't notice, but yes. It's been brought up. I'm sure you've heard the talk on Bill Simmons' podcast about Jason Garrett and Cowboys, but seriously, what does he have to do to get fired?
I don't know. I do not know.
The Cowboys could probably go 0-16 and he'd still be okay.
He is a coach that will do what Jerry Jones tells him to do.
I have to agree with Mike. I think that's got to be what it is.
But Jerry Jones also isn't. He's not. I don't know what the word is, but he's still a guy that wants to win football games at the end of the day.
Yeah, but if you remember when Simmons and Sal were talking about it, they act like they won 3 Super Bowls in the last 10 years. That they're way better. For some reason, the culture there feels like it's way better than it actually is. They walk around with this air of we're very successful and we're very good. It's like you're not. and you haven't won anything since, 95? So, but yeah.
They've been to what? The one NFC title game?
Well,
in the last...
When was that?
Wasn't that the Packer game? Wasn't that an NFC title game?
No, that was the divisional game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess they never did.
I don't, maybe, but I don't recall. But that's my point, though, is that they, according, that it seems to be like they seem like that they have this memory of being successful that they weren't. When Romo was there, they would go make playoff runs and stuff. Then they had the 12-4 season when Prescott and Elliott were both rookies, but that's been about it, really. Yeah. It's been a lot of 500 or less football since then. I don't know, but I don't know what he needs to do to get fired. But you look at guys in this league that should be gone. Hugh Jackson, thank God, finally. Jason Garrett.
But he was so close.
Yeah. Jesus, did you guys read some of that shit that he said?
I read how he wishes he had more time. Yeah.
Oh, some of the tweets were great. They were like, Hugh Jackson told JFK not to go to Dallas on that day, and just all the things that Hugh told people not to do. But I think after Hugh Jackson, you got to look at Jason Garrett as being on the guy that should be fired list. Oh shit! McDermott in Buffalo. I mean, come on. I don't know. Maybe Buffalo. What the hell's the difference at this point, right? But yeah. Jason Garrett, I don't get. He's never really done anything to get this kind of commitment out of an owner, especially an owner as volatile as Jerry Jones. I just don't understand it. Don't understand it at all.
I just don't get it.
Jerry likes him because he knows his role.
Yeah.
And
he's
willing to play it.
I don't know. And the fact of the matter, too, is Jerry hasn't exactly done a great job giving Jason Garrett anything to work with.
No, I think the bigger situation there, I mean, obviously they need a new coach, but what they really need is an actual general manager.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones,
he traded for Amari Cooper.
For a first-round pick.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be top 15 pick this year. That was a stupid trade.
Yeah.
Stupid trade. Anyway, we got anything else in the NFL?
I mean, there were actually a couple high-profile trades.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had
Old Tate going to the Eagles.
Yep.
Demaryius Thomas going to the Texans.
Right.
Playing the Broncos the same week he got traded from them.
Well, Dexter Fowler or Dante Fowler. Dexter Fowler. Now, if he had come to the Rams, that would have been an interesting trade.
The Lions have pretty much called it quits on the season, right? If they're trading Golden Tate away.
I think it might have been a money move too, though. I think he's a free agent at the end of this year. So instead of waiting and getting nothing, you take whatever you can get now, I think.
Yeah, the Lions are another franchise that I just they've settled into the lower middle. They're not outright terrible.
Yeah.
But they're also not decent. They're just kind of like, well, they're a 5-win team every year.
Everybody talks about how miserable it is to be a Browns fan. And for the last 20 years, it has been. But going back over the years, I mean, the Lions, at least we had the 80s. And, to some extent, a couple years in the 70s, a couple years in the 90s. Yeah. They don't have anything.
Yeah, I mean they've had some legendary players.
Yeah, but
in Barry Sanders and
Calvin
Johnson,
Billy Sims before him. There was some good players there. But yeah, I mean, you talk about a franchise and fan base that's got nothing. It's the Lions. They haven't even sniffed the Super Bowl. I mean, at least the Browns came close 3 times.
And again, but that's what I mean is like I think being a Lions fan is probably a worse off place to be because you're never bad enough to get those top picks to like launch your franchise forward. They did for a minute when they had Calvin Johnson and Matt Stafford and they were at their peak and they made those playoff runs.
There were a couple years there where they were a playoff team and you thought, okay, this could be where they finally start getting to the top of the ladder, and they inevitably either just shoot themselves in the foot or they just don't get there. It's just the weirdest thing because you'll see them start building and they start putting together what looks like it's going to be a really good team, and then it never turns out to be. I don't know what their deal is.
But beyond those few years, they're never really good. They're never that bad. They're not even I wouldn't even say that they're like a middle of the road team. They're just kind of they're there.
I think
the Lions are their team, and that's terrible.
I think if you looked at since the post-merger, I'd be surprised if the Lions have won their division, whether it be the NFC North or the old NFC Central. I'd be surprised if they've won it even 5 times in the, 53 years now that we've had a Super Bowl?
The Lions are the definition of a stuff team.
Oh, but for sure. But they're also kind of like one of those legacy teams. They're the weirdest team in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're definitely a legacy team. They're definitely a team that everybody knows, but they're also a stuff team, big time.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the difference between the only difference between the Arizona Cardinals and the Detroit Lions is that Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
that the Cardinals made. Otherwise, they're both of them are legacy teams, original teams of the NFL, but also nothing really to write home about for their entire history. But,
Let me see. According to this, the Lions have won the division 4 times.
Jesus.
Here we go. How many division titles have the Lions won? 4.
4 division titles.
Jeez.
And it's not like you only have to beat 3 other teams.
Yeah.
You only have to be better than a handful of teams to win division titles in the NFL.
And the years they did that at like the peak Barry Sanders years, 93, 94, 95, 96. They won it 4 years in a row, really?
They didn't win any under Stafford?
As far as I can tell, no. Let's see.
Jeez. I guess not.
Yeah, so I said less than 5. It was 4. I said I'd be surprised if it was 5 times. I mean, and I think they made the playoffs, 4 times, obviously, but outside of that, I know they went in, I think, 83, because they played this really great game against the Redskins and ended up losing on a last-second field goal.
Yeah, they have.
They made the wild card.
4 division championships.
Made the wild card a couple times, but,
Wow. One of those division championships, by the way, Craig, you see with the year on that one, right?
Which
1935?
one? Oh, no.
So they've only won 3 modern NFL division championships.
Oh, God.
83, 91, 93.
Yeah, okay.
They have 18 playoff appearances over their history, but post-merger, they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 13 playoff appearances post-merger.
So in 53 years, they've made it to playoffs 13 times.
12 times.
12 times. You see, that's what I mean. And people talk about the Browns. I mean, the Browns made the playoffs, let's see, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. No, not 90. Then 94. So 7 times just in that stretch. They made it in 80, I think. And, that's what I mean. The difference is I would much rather be a Browns fan than a Lions fan is what I'm saying. I mean, we've had far more success, as crazy as that sounds. Mm-hmm. But anyway. All right. Yeah. We about ready to wrap it up?
We got some breaking news.
Oh, okay.
The Los Angeles Clippers have we got a leak of their newest, I don't know what these are, city jerseys, I guess. Who the fuck knows?
Earned.
There you go. There you guys go.
Hey, man, it's like those old LA Gear shoes they used to wear back in the 80s.
Exactly, right?
Oh, no.
Woo! When it looks like something I would design, that's bad.
Hold on. They're supposed to be honoring Ralph Lawler?
Who?
These jerseys?
Yeah.
He was their announcer forever.
Did he wear the old LA Gear shoes or what? That's like a New Balance logo, wouldn't you think?
I don't know what that is.
Wow. I like the stars down the side. That's kind of cool.
I mean, that's great for the 76ers.
Yeah. Or if you're going to go New Jersey Nets throwbacks, sure, why not? Or Brooklyn Nets, or whatever the fuck they are these days.
The LA Clippers, not so much. I don't know what this is supposed to be.
It's the New Balance sneaker logo on a navy blue like New Jersey / Brooklyn / New York Nets throwback jersey.
Wait, and can we hold on just one more second, too?
Okay.
So you're going to have a basketball team in LA with the initials LA with motion lines coming off of it.
Yeah.
And it's not the Lakers. Baby brother, go back to your room.
Wow.
I didn't even think about that, but you're absolutely right.
baby brother needs to go back to his room.
You're absolutely right, because
go back down the hall and think about what you've done.
This is just more of like not Lakers crap. Like that logo that they had for the longest time that was just like the Lakers
Wait, you
logo.
mean the LA Lakers Clippers logo? It was like if you were going to sit down, like they were like a softball team. Like, okay, we're going to call ourselves the Clippers, but we want to look just like the Lakers, so we're going to take their logo and put Clippers on it. That's what that was.
That one always baffled me for years.
Oh my God, they were like dead ringers for each other.
Yeah, I mean, like the basketball is slightly tilted a different way, but it's like, no, it's the same.
Like this is just what it kind of to go back to what Greg was saying. All right, hang on. All right, here we go. The LA Gear shoes from the 80s.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is. Yep, see?
No, and I get the aesthetic they're going for, because this also the first thing I thought of when I saw it was it's reminiscent of like the early 90s Team USA basketball.
Yeah.
Look. And so that's what this is reminiscent of. And so this is definitely like a 90s faux back, if you will, for the Clippers. But if they're honoring Ralph Lawler, I don't understand how this does that other than putting it on the tag.
Well, how did the Lakers one honor Magic Johnson?
Well, yeah, true.
But no, it's like if the New Balance logo and the LA Gear logo like had a baby.
Generally speaking, like I would the number font does not go with this whole ensemble.
No, it doesn't. The number font sticks out like a sore thumb.
Oh, this is god awful. This is, like I said, when I look at it and go, I can do better than that. Not good.
Like this.
Honestly, though, like if this was a jersey that was put out in 1992,
it'd still be ugly. No, it'd still be terrible.
It would be acceptable.
It would be of its time for sure, but it would still be bad.
I had never considered that before you said it, though, Zach. Like LA motion lines. Like, god damn it, Clippers.
Like what are you doing? Like, and now that I look at it, you know what they're gonna say?
Motion.
No. The shape of all those lines, are they not like an abstract outline of a ship looking down like a bird's eye view?
Oh, fuck no.
No.
Is the pointy thing at the front not the bow of a clipper ship?
No.
Where they have the little mast that sticks out straight ahead?
That's exactly what they're going to do.
Is that not? That's exactly what that is.
Oh, no. Sorry.
I want to get a job working for Nike. Because, again, once I figured out that, like, alchemy was okay, like, there's no limit, like, I want that job. Now that I know there's no limit on what I could say, like...
Dude, I want to work at Nike because you can just go outside, smoke weed, and come back in and go, check this out. They're like, it's fucking brilliant. Let's do it. That's what Nike is these days. Come on. We'll show up to work drunk and throw three things together and go, here you go.
Yeah,
here's a great big check.
They're definitely not motion lines, Mike. They're actually ships.
No.
That's what they have to be.
No.
That's what they're going to say, but that doesn't make it all right.
No.
But at the end of the day, they're still, to the layman, it's a LA basketball team.
I'm going to say, if you look at that, if they say that's a ship and you look at it and you say you can see it, you are either fuck all stupid, or you're doing acid or something. That's the only way that's ever going to work.
Do you know what I mean, right? Like if you're looking at a ship like bird's eye view down.
I see it. It's just dumb.
With that, we're going to wrap it up, folks. Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and YouTube, and find us on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Later.
Adios.